Welcome back everybody, Sal is here today. Today's adventure is we're going to be saving a bunch of old trucks just like this one back here behind me from the crusher. Right now it's pretty muddy at the yard, so I really can't do any crushing here. But as soon as it dries out, I'm going to be going to town crushing just about everything I can get my hands on. However, there is getting to be a bunch of vintage vehicles sitting around in the way, and I've kind of got two choices at this point. I can either find a place to put them somewhere else, or I can crush them. So if I don't get them out of here soon and do option A, that means I'm going to have to do option B, and I'm going to have to start packing them in the machine and making them go away forever. In addition to that, I've got to get back out there to that auction where I bought all those really cool vehicles at. I need to pick up another load out there. So we've got a lot to get done. Let's hop in the loader. Let's get to work. And there we go, first one is delivered. This is a 1955 Dodge Town panel truck. It's a pretty cool truck. It's a little bit on the rough side. Quarter panels are rusted out. The fenders have some rust and the doors are kind of beat up on it. But it's basically complete. The motor still turns. Got a lot of potential. It even has these really cool bucket seats in it. They have the metal backs on them. I know those are worth a little bit of money by themselves. The floors are all still in it and they're pretty solid. And it's not rusted out above the windshield, so there's a lot of potential here. If nobody buys the whole thing, what I'll probably do is go ahead and cut the nose off like I do, sell the bucket seats, and then I'll probably cut it somewhere, probably right about here, and then somebody can turn this into an entertainment center or something like that. That'll really be a shame if I have to cut this thing up though, so I'm really hoping somebody buys it. The only problem I'm having with saving these vehicles from the crusher is I'm getting very, very low on room out here. I'm running out of room very quickly. I crushed almost 500 cars out of here earlier in the year, and all of that space is gone. I do have one more area way out back with a whole bunch of trees I want to clean out, and that'll get me quite a bit of space. But the reason why I don't take out all of the trees out here, as you can see, there's trees all the way around me. That sun is bright. And some of these trees I am going to go ahead and take out, like some of these in here. But a lot of these big forested areas, I don't want to take the trees out because before I was ever into saving old cars, I enjoyed walking through the woods and going through the trees, and that's my escape from working and all that sort of stuff. And so if I take all the trees out and I turn this entire place into one gigantic job, then I'll hate it out here and I'll never want to come out here anymore. Everybody always asks me why I don't just take all the trees out and then boom, I have 20 some acres available to put cars on. But that's why, is because I actually like trees more than I like cars. This truck is very butt heavy. That's why I'm going to load it backwards. There's no motor in it, and it's got that big old heavy tank or box or whatever you want to call it on the back and that big rear end. So it'll just ride a whole lot better like this. Bingo, there we go. Got that truck unloaded. Now here's what's up next. I've got to cut the back off of this truck. I've got a guy coming tomorrow. He's going to buy the back off of this truck. He's buying a couple noses, I believe. Maybe some tractor parts if I remember to get them out in time. And there was something else he's wanting as well, but I can't remember what it is offhand. But the only thing that's not ready to go is this right here. This is pretty heavy and he's going to be here tomorrow. So actually I'm not going to bother putting this down on the ground. I don't want to break anything or damage it worse than it's already beat up and damaged. So I'm just going to let it sit here until I see him tomorrow. And the last thing for today, I sold some stuff on eBay. I sold 2 throttle bodies and this magneto off an airplane. So I'm going to take all this home, package it up, maybe add a little bit of video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And good morning. Plans have changed. I went by McDonald's, got my dad a sandwich. He dug out a truck out here that he was going to crush and said, if you want it, come get it. So I'm out here to get that right now. Okay, slight change of plans. I guess my dad has the transmission sold out of that square body, so that wasn't for me. It's for another guy. He's coming to get that transmission, but then I'll get the rest of the truck later. So instead I decided to grab this one here. This is one I actually bought a while back from our neighbor. He was crushing out, and he had this and about 20 or 30 other old trucks, and he was going to crush them, and I just figured, man, I can't see letting those get crushed, so I gave him scrap value for them plus a little bit extra. And so I saved him this, and here's a big window truck even. I mean, it's really rough. There's not a whole lot left of it, but you know, you just don't see big window 65 or 6 trucks all that often, so I couldn't see letting it get crushed. Also, if you guys remember, I pulled this off of a vehicle that had been crushed. It's been a couple months ago. I didn't have room for it that day though, so I just left it out there, but now I did have room for it, so I grabbed it. But I'm here now. I've got those 2 tractor grills and hoods over there. I think the guy that's coming this afternoon might be interested in those, so I'm gonna grab those out and take them with me. These came off of a couple tractors that I crushed a while back. In fact, I made a video of that. You can look up my past videos, the one about where I crushed a tractor. I thought these were just too cool to throw in the crusher as well, though. I always save the grills. That's just a given, but I don't always save the hoods. But with the matching paint and everything on both of them, I thought, you know what, somebody will want those, and I think I found somebody that wants them. Well, we've got a slight change of plans. I've got a school bus out front, like a miniature school bus or a passenger bus, whatever you want to call it. I've got to rip that apart and pack it in the dumpster, so I'm going to hop in the excavator. We'll take care of that real quick, and then we'll get back to the antique stuff. And good morning. It's actually been a couple days since I've had the camera out. On Thursday, it rained all day long, and I just crushed cars at the yard, and I didn't really film any of that. And then in the afternoon, I went out and picked up a really cool old truck. I'll show that to you guys later. But that guy did not want any cameras on the place. He has like 250 old cars out in the field, but he was not keen on having cameras around his property. Once I got back to town with that truck, it was flat, pouring down rain. I had 2 more cars come in. A guy hauled into me, antique cars after that, but like I said, I just didn't feel like getting the camera out in the pouring rain. And then on Friday, yesterday, it was once again, it just rained all day long. So I just did odds and ends things, put some stuff on eBay. I didn't do a whole lot. But now today is Saturday. I am headed back out to that auction. Sean's somewhere behind me. I'm not sure where. He's on his way out as well. We're going to pick up the 54 Chevy. He's going to put that on his trailer. And I'm going to put the 60 Dodge on my trailer. And then I have another guy coming out next week to get the other 6 cars. And we made it. There's the car I'm going to grab. There's still a lot of cars out here. I thought for sure it would be more picked over by now. There's still a ton of cars left out here. It looks like the crusher is just about done. He's over there now. Looks like he's crushed out quite a bit of the ones he bought already. Yeah, there's quite a few cars left in here. Now I know a lot of these cars. I know the guys that bought them, and they're from around here. And they know the people that own this property, so they're probably not in too big of a hurry to get them out. But me, I'm kind of in a hurry to get my stuff out of here. I'm trying to think, I have one more car up here. Yeah, the white one right there, not this one, but that one right there, that one's mine. And then that one back there, that Buick is mine. And then you can see it right there, that old 58, 59 Ford over there is mine. I'll go through later and I'm gonna spray paint an S on the windshield of all the ones that I bought. That way the guy that comes to get them for me knows what they are. There's one there I wish I would have bought, the white Dodge. I really wish I would have bought that one. I ran it up to $1,200. He got it for $1,200. I probably should have kept going on it because that's just a really cool truck. But honestly, I shouldn't have bought as much as what I bought. That's what I really should have done. Not sure what's going on here. Someone rolled this one over for some reason. Probably for the yeah, they got the overdrive out of it. That's probably the only reason they bought it. 2-door Plymouth. Pulled the overdrive out and they probably sold the rest of it for scrap. Looks like somebody came out here and cut the noses off of a bunch of them. I was gonna do that, but looks like somebody beat me to it. Or maybe whoever bought the car did. Hard telling. It's got a decent carburetor on it, but I didn't bring any tools with me. Oh yep, there's the crusher's name on it. So the old Rambler wagon didn't make it. I think it sold for $100, $150, something like that. Gonna get the squeeze cross country. Looks like he did a lot of crushing already. Here's some here that got the squeeze. No longer among the living. This is what happens when you don't buy the old cars. They don't survive. I think about 50 of the cars out here sold for scrap, and most of the farm equipment. Even like that old pull behind over there sold for scrap. This one even had factory AC in it, or under dash AC, probably period correct. Dealer added option or something. Full of old hubcaps. Cross country Rambler. This crusher's not running. I was hoping to watch him crush something, but I might be too late for all that. There's a bunch of cars up here on the bluff. I never actually went up here the day of the sale. I flew my drone over it, but that was it. Didn't see anything I had to have, but I guess he hasn't crushed any of these up here yet, so he said to go check them out. Whew, it's a workout, that's for sure. It doesn't look steep, but this is a pretty steep hill. Supposedly there's some root that grows up here. They use it as a natural remedy for pain. And like if you have a toothache, they say you grab one of those roots and you chew on it, and after about 30 seconds, you don't even know you have teeth. They say it's pretty strong stuff. They say it sells for about $3,000 a pound because they're real small and they don't weigh nothing. Look how beautiful it is out here. Yeah, I guess he bought everything up here. Nobody else even came up here or something like that. So everything on this hill up here is getting the squeeze. So if there's anything good at all, this is the one and only chance to get it. This old Deluxe might have a nose. Nah, the bumper's all gone. I don't know. That might be something. It's pretty rough though. Yeah, guy might be able to work with that. And see, there's nothing dry up here, and we got all that rain. So the guy can run up here with the torch and cut this stuff off. Be a lot faster and easier. Huh. And here's an old truck. Probably out of the 30s. Not sure what it is. Looks like a Chevy, I think. Yeah, Chevy. That's pretty neat. Don't know that it has any value. He said he has a guy wanting to buy it already though. Anything else good up here? We'll kind of check it out. He's pretty reasonable on his prices. There was a car he bought at the sale. He paid $200 for it. It was like a 55 Buick. And I couldn't see letting it get crushed, so I asked him about it, and he said he'd take $300 for it. Check out this gear. That's pretty sweet. But yeah, I gave him $300 for the car, and so now it's mine. I could have bought it at the sale probably for $225, but that's what I get for dragging my feet. Yeah, he said he gave $100 a piece for all the vehicles up here. There's kind of a cool trunk on this one here. That'd make a really good couch, but I ain't got time for it all. Yeah, the rest of that looks pretty junky. He said there's a couple motorcycles up here, so I want to find those and check those out. But I also wanted to come up here and just kind of look around. Check this out. All these gullies and hills. It's so beautiful out here, but it's just so far from civilization, and there's not much you can do with land like this other than graze cattle. Now, it looks like the prickly pears are just about ripe. They're almost there. I got some of those that grow on my property, and I need to go out and check on them. Bunch of parts and pieces laying around. Don't see anything. There's an old bicycle. Is that anything good? It's a skip tooth, and it's buried down in the dirt. Yeah, it looks pretty rough, so honestly we'll probably just let that go the way of the grave. I'm guessing what he's probably going to do is come up here with the loader, smash the roof in on these cars, and then use the skid steer and stack junk on top of them to carry it down the hill. It's quite a ways to carry the small stuff one load at a time. What's left of a Honda 50. It's kind of neat, but I don't know, probably nothing I need. There's another old something, I don't know what that is. No, don't really see anything I have to have. The only thing I'm considering is cutting the nose off a couple of these cars. He told me $100 a piece for any noses that I want. And then there's that Ford truck over there as well. That nose is kind of complete, so maybe we can run up here and cut off a few noses real quick. I think a guy can straighten that bumper out and make that nose work. And then this Ford here, guy'd have to find a hood for it, but I think a guy can make that nose work. And then maybe this Chevy, the bumper's no good, but I don't know. I think a guy could probably do something with that. So if we have time, we'll do these 4 noses. I know I can find a hood for this truck. Oh, this is even a 4-wheel drive. That's kind of a shame. Pretty stripped out though. It's got a real nice bed on it, but beds for these trucks just ain't really worth nothing. And the crew has arrived. First victim, got an old 53, 54 Ford. I think it's a 54. The back of it is clear full of these off of generators. Definitely gonna save all those. So I'm gonna stack all those in a pile over here. I'll buy all those from them. Old derby car. While they're doing that, I'm going to check some of these cars out, make sure there's nothing good on them. Rare accessories or things like that. Because they're getting the squeeze too. Somebody started turning this one into a truck. I wish I had time to pull that front bumper off. But we'll see if we have time, if it doesn't get crushed before then. If it gets crushed, it gets crushed. Life goes on. But anything marked number 1, we're going to check it out and see if there's anything worth saving on them. Because they're going to get the squeeze. Today's pretty much the last day to save stuff. There was a lot more stuff here before, but I didn't make it back. It's been well right at a week since the auction. And I didn't make it back in time to save a lot of the stuff, but that's okay. What else? Oh, this old Chrysler. Oh, that's too bad. The hood ornament's all ripped apart. And I think, yeah, there's one more car up here on the hill. Whatever, this old Plymouth or DeSoto or Dodge or something. There's that Rambler over there too, but he actually sold that car, so can't touch it. Special Deluxe. Anything good? What's this? A Super S. Super Silas. I guess I better keep that. I don't really see anything else good in here. Just a little fuel pump. You always got to check in these cars though, because like this little Hudson that I bought here, the inside of that was clear full of good stuff. The trunk open? Trunk opens. Trunk is empty. Okay, well that's that then. I don't think he bought this old two-door hardtop. No, who bought that? 30, 36, something like that. So I don't know who bought that one, but it wasn't the Crusher guy, so we will let it sit. I think that's about everything. It's just this Ford that we're cutting on now. Everything else up here, that's a good home for it. It's right in the Crusher. There, like I say, there were a couple of really cool ones up here that I really wanted to get some parts off of, but oh well. Oh, somebody wants to buy my Buick. For sale. I guess I can call him real quick, see what they say. Well, I didn't get him to answer, unfortunately. But, I mean, honestly, he's probably thinking most of these, he probably knows that most of these cars up here brought $150, $200, $300 a piece. So he's probably thinking like 500 bucks for it. It's probably going to have to just go home and get cut up. Somebody might buy the whole car, I don't know. It's a pretty straight car, but it is just a Buick 4-door. So we'll see, but maybe he'll come through. Maybe he'll say, I'll give you $1,000 for it and I'll come get it. And I'm going to say, you bet, come get that thing. But we'll see if he calls me back.
Check for fires. Dump.
Yeah, we'll give her a good dump.
I thought that was a nice touch, trimming that bumper off there like that.
Yeah, it worked out really good.
It does look good.
Just stays all together. It's not that heavy.
Cut the wheel well out so the thing can sit on the floor. We're good.
Yeah, this is about perfect. Oops. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, that looks good. That's a good one right there. I mean, there's one little piece of the frame holding on. No, I guess that's cut. Something, oh,
Oh, you got front wall going through the frame.
right down there somewhere. Pair of nippers. There we go. This car is done. God, there's still some more good stuff on it, but you can't save it all. We're in a hurry. Gonna grab the good stuff, grab the gauges out of it, the nose, the trunk, valve covers, carburetor. There was a 56 Fairlane trunk inside it, so I grabbed the emblem off of that and all those fan blades there. So we're done with this. We're gonna pull down there to that blue Dodge truck and see if there's anything good on it. And then we're gonna head up there to that Rambler station wagon, pull some parts off of it, and then go up to the hill. Skylar's gonna grab this car here. This is one that I said I was done bidding on stuff. I wasn't gonna buy any more. Then we got to this car and it was going for scrap. So Skylar bought it and said, I'll bring it to you. Pretty cool car, really. I have no clue how this opens up. Looks like a...
Should we put a socket on it, maybe?
Looks like it had grooves and the grooves are gone, so... Whatever we got to put on it. Looks like vice grips, maybe? Yeah, we'll go through the hubcaps. We'll grab those out of there. What was snagging? The window was snagging. Oh, up here in this. Where it slides up into that. The snag. Oh, and right there. So yeah, you got to...
All the way around the seal.
That's crazy. I mean, I guess I get why they do that, so somebody doesn't bust their window out, but... Yeah, that'll work, I think. Maybe you have to put a second wrench or something on the vice grips. Which way does it go? There he goes.
I feel like I'm on a visit.
Yeah.
Some on each side of it.
I'll jiggle in the middle. Oh. Combine fell.
No. A little more. There we are.
There it goes.
So I got a jumper seat.
Crunchy, crunchy. Crunchy, crunchy. Check out that tag. That's pretty neat. Grabbed all the hubcaps out of it. Now we're going to save this tailgate. Can't see letting a station wagon tailgate go in the scrap. All welded single unit construction. No frame. It was a good idea until these cars were about 15 years old and started rusting. Of course, this one here actually never did rust. It's kind of a shame. Rust-free car getting the squeeze. Here we go. Get to watch somebody else's crusher in action for once.
Wow. I had to fold that one. What do you think? Get a hold of it and try to fold the tongue into it?
Yeah, if he smashes it halfway, then it'll fold up pretty easy. Yep, just like that. Well, almost just like that. It's his equipment, he can do what he wants. I guess it worked. All those sparks. There he goes. Well, it started to. Perfect. It's one good thing about these cars getting crushed is you ain't got to be careful with nothing. And that's all the Rambler wrote. Now we're going to go up on the hill, knock out 3 or 4 cars, and we'll get loaded up, pay him for all the stuff I'm getting from him, hit the road, heading back home. I got some cool drone shots when I was out here at the auction. Making progress. Got some pretty good parts off of these. Got the clock out of this car, this old shoebox. Thought that was pretty cool. Got the noses cut off all 3 of these now. Ready to go. And then we're gonna probably pull the seats out of this one here, being a 2-door. the seat frames are worth a little bit of money. And then this shoebox here, I don't think we got anything else off of that. And then we got some dash parts. Now they're pulling the back bumper off of that 50 Chevy down there, or whatever year it is. I also pulled the trunk hinges off of this. They're in really good shape. And the little trunk latch support thingamajigger that was right here. Thought about saving the gauges out of this 55.6 over here, but I'm getting kind of burned out on pulling parts, so I think we're about done with that. I'm going to go over here and check this stuff out. I think I'm going to save that bicycle. So I'm going to go dig that out now. I'm going to look at this moped one more time. That great big gear that was over there, we pulled that off too. Thought that was too cool to let it get crushed. Never find another one. Let's see here. It's looking pretty rough, but you know, there might be parts on it, and it's kind of neat. It might work for art, so I guess we'll drag it out of here. We'll save it. I'm sure it'll be cheap. Oh, and then he pulled the rock guards off that Savoy that was over here. They were real cool, kind of shaped like arrows in a way. At first I wasn't going to mess with them, but then I was like, you know what? I don't know if it'll be that big of a deal to get them off, and Let pulled them off for me. He said it wasn't easy, but he got the job done. You can kind of see the outline of where they were at on that car. Pretty cool piece. Once they're done over there pulling the seats out of that one, we're going to pull the trunk off of the car down here on the very end, that 53 or 4, whatever it is. Then after that, I think we will be done. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead, dig this bicycle out now, see if I can get it out of there. Oh, I didn't realize that. This has some sort of, oh, there's two bicycles here. The one on top has some sort of funky fork on it. Huh. It's really unusual. I don't even know what that is. That's a really unique setup though, so I'm glad I decided to come back over here. These rims are pretty rough. I probably won't mess with those. Get these rusty chains off of there. Here we go. It's a skip tooth. Yeah, the frame's a little bit messed up, but it's pretty unique. I think this is a Schwinn. Just by looking at the welds on it, it has real smooth welds. If it's not a Schwinn, it's something pretty good anyway. These fenders have seen better days too. It's too bad. Probably were worth pretty good money once upon a time. This is another skip tooth. Pretty rough. It was really buried down in the dirt. I didn't even see it at first. But I'm already here, so I guess I'll take it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to mess with the fenders or the wheels. I think I'll just leave those behind. They're all super rusty, and I don't think they match these bikes anyway. There's not much left of it, but I'm going to have to save that too. What's left of this old Dodge City tag? It's too bad it's not complete, but that's a pretty neat one. That's a pretty old one too. There we go. That car there, the trunk kind of fell apart on it. It was so rusty. So we went ahead and saved them. Guy might be able to do something with those for art, or somebody, if they wanted to make little hot rod fins on their car or something like that, they might be able to graft those in. But other than that, we pulled the bullet off the car, and the rest of it's going for the junk. Grab these Honda 50 mopeds. This in here somebody cut off, but they're both really rough, but there could be some art there. So all these noses, and I think we're about done. We're going to go down there now and settle up on all this and load up the cars, and then we're done. Well, the Rambler wagon is no more. It's a good thing I got the parts when I did. He's over there tearing up a combine now, but I'm gonna go talk to him and we'll settle up on everything. That poor old Rambler. That was kind of a shame on that one. It's too bad those aren't worth money.
Yep.
That worked. And there goes what's left of the Ford, off to meet its doom. Now we've got to load everything up. I think we can stack quite a bit of it in front of that Dodge. Normally I would pull that Dodge further forward a little bit, but I left it back at the back of the trailer. That way we can stack some of the noses on there. We'll put all the light stuff, all these extra hood cutoffs and whatnot in the back of my truck. Bicycles, that sort of stuff. We'll probably have to put maybe one trunk and a nose in the back of his truck. We'll see how it goes, but we'll get it all situated. If you're curious what I paid for all the extra stuff, I gave him $700 for all the noses and the trunk and all the extra stuff that we cut off today. And then that other little miscellaneous pile of parts and whatnot that we got off these vehicles. Well, we are headed out. Got everything strapped down, chained down. There's Sean's load over there. We stacked the rest of the stuff in his truck. We are gonna hit the road. Look up there on the hill. Check that out. He's just driving across the hill with a load of junk on his forks. That's kind of neat. It's definitely a neat place. Sometimes I wish I wasn't so busy, then I could come out here and I just clean the rest of this place up by myself, but I got too much going on. I can't do it all. I got my buddy gonna come out here and haul the last 6 cars I have. Hopefully his truck doesn't break down or something like that. If that happens, then I'm gonna have to come out here and do it myself. And I have basically 2 more weeks from the time of filming this to have it done. So hopefully he doesn't drop out on me, but I don't think he will. As long as his truck doesn't break down, he won't. And he's got a pretty good truck, so I doubt that'll happen. And good morning. It is Monday morning. I'm out here at the yard. I figured I'd show you these other vehicles that came in last week, and then I got to unload my trailer. And I think Sean actually wants to buy that 54 that he hauled home. So he's going to bring it out here. We're going to get all the stuff I bought, the extra stuff, out of it. And then he's probably just going to go ahead and take that right back home. But here's the Dodge truck I keep telling you about from the guy that didn't want me to film at his place. Very, very cool truck. I love this truck. I'll probably sell it eventually, but for the time being, I am not getting rid of this truck. It's kind of a rare one. This is a 56, 54, and 5 were the same basic cab and front clip. But back here, instead of having the full one-piece window, they had the little window in the middle, and then they had cab corners. And they were big, big windows in the cab corners. I think I have one somewhere. I'm not sure where it's at. But anyway, in 56, they went to just the full big back window. And then in 57, they kept the big back window, but they changed up everything else. It was a one-piece hood that opens in the front. And they still had single headlights, but it was a total different grill. 58 went to dual headlights, but they also had that big back window. So there were some similarities, but really this is kind of a one-year only truck in a lot of ways. There's no motor in this truck. No motor, no oh, I guess actually the transmission is still in it. Somebody put a push-button automatic in this thing. I forgot the door doesn't open. Or does it? No, yeah, the other door opens, but this one doesn't. But you can see there, someone put the push buttons and they just screwed it to the steering column. I guess whatever works. So, I mean, it's kind of on the rough side, but it's not a rust bucket. It's got a little bit of damage to it here and there. Like I say, the motor's gone and they kind of cut the frame up a little bit in the process. But you know, this would be a perfect candidate for a chassis swap. One other thing that's kind of interesting is it's got the factory small bolt pattern on the front, but it's got a big bolt pattern on the back. So they've swapped that rear end out for something. I'm not sure what they swapped into. I didn't really check that close. But yeah, it's got big pattern on the back, small pattern on the front. Kind of interesting. And then of course they swapped out the gas tank. They took out the cab tank and they put a tank in the bed, big old combine tank. You get a lot more fuel, and then you don't have to worry about sitting on top of a gas tank anymore. If this is a 1956, that means it was on the road for about, 17 years? It's been sitting out there in that field for a long time. I think he said that's been out there for about 30, 35 years. Next up on the list, this one here came from up in the Northeast. I actually never went to this location. A buddy of mine found these cars, and he's the one that worked out the deal and everything, so he's been hauling them to me. But this is a Windsor Deluxe, the deluxe version of the Windsor. Really good looking car. It got lots of good looking chrome on it. It's got nice fins on it and taillights. The car isn't that terrible. If a person really liked these cars, this one here is definitely restorable, but they're just not a popular car. I really do like these door handles though, the way they work. You push right there and the whole thing pops out. And then you pull like this. Neat old cars. The back seat's gone out of this one, unfortunately. However, I doubt anybody would ever want this whole car anyway. More than likely, this is going to be a couch. And then, of course, the front clip will get turned into some sort of furniture. It's kind of unfortunate to do something like that to a car this complete and this original. But like I say, these cars just don't have a whole lot of following. It's not like I'm going to do it tomorrow though, so it'll be here for a little bit in case somebody does want to go ahead and try to rescue this car. And here's another car that came from up north where that Windsor was at. This is an old Frazier. I just love the nose on this thing. I mean, it's ugly, but it's also super unique. There's no other nose like that, other than kind of Willie's, but I believe Willie's and Frazier were kind of related. Unfortunately, it's missing the Frazier hood ornament. That would have been kind of cool to get that. Kind of an interesting dash in this thing. Nothing super fancy. Just kind of an interesting car. It's got kind of a neat trunk on it, so that would make a cool couch as well. Once again, this car here, I doubt anybody would ever buy the whole thing. It's just kind of on the rough side, and it's just a four-door Frazier. There's not a whole lot of value here as a complete car. I like that hood, the horn ring on this thing, if I can even talk. It's just a really unique design. I'm sure back in the day, when this car was new, I bet it was quite the interesting sight to see this thing going down the road. I think everybody thought they were ugly when they were new too. They definitely had some interesting styling ideas, that's for sure. It's almost kind of like a Studebaker in a way, but instead of just a singular point for a bullet nose, it's got a big blade almost in the front. But the way the fenders are shaped and the way they kind of slope down in the front right there, and the bumper's away from everything, in a way that kind of reminds me of a Studebaker. But with that, I'm going to get the equipment out and I'm going to start unloading all this. Well, Sean showed up, we got him completely unloaded, and he actually decided to buy that 54 Chevy. He's just gonna part it out, but it's got a lot of good parts, and he really likes parting out those, 49, 50, up to 54 Chevy cars. Those are kind of his, I guess you could say, specialty in a way. And since he came out and helped me last Saturday, get all that stuff cut off and whatnot, I told him, look, you just give me back my money that I gave for the car and you can have it. I don't need to make anything on the deal, except for there was some stuff inside the car that I kept, so I can make a little bit of money off of that stuff. We got all the noses unloaded, all the trunk unloaded, all the small stuff unloaded. I do have some stuff in the back of my truck yet to get out, so I'm gonna get that done. And I'm probably not gonna mess with cleaning out the trunk of that Phoenix yet. That stuff's pretty secure in there. It's not gonna hurt anything. And I'm kind of running out of time today. I've got a lot of stuff going on that I need to get done, so that stuff's not a priority. We'll worry about that later. My wife had a meeting, so I've got my helpers here somewhere. They're in here. There they are. Hi. Oh, there she is. I was trying to find my daughter, and they've got her inside those crates. You guys are silly. What are you guys doing? What? Yeah, they're getting filthy out here, that's for sure. There's so much mud out here, and they're having a blast in it. The reason why I loaded this up is tomorrow I have to go load crushed cars at the other yard. I know I have crushed cars out back here, but they're really not in the way. All the crushed cars I have at the other yard where the crusher's at are kind of in the way. So I want to ship them out of there instead of here. The ones out here can just sit for a while longer. Also, I was just checking around and I popped the hood on this car to see what's under the hood. If I can get it to pop again now. A two-handed job. There it goes. This has got a 4-barrel on it, 4-barrel poly engine. It even has the original carburetor on it, original air cleaner, everything. And so that's a very rare setup. That's probably worth at least double, if not triple, what I paid for the whole car by itself. So definitely a really good deal there. Really a sharp car. I have a guy interested in buying the car. I really wanted to cut the trunk off of it for a couch. But he has one of these and he needs a parts car. And so he really wants his car. So I priced it high, and I keep all the 4-barrel stuff. And I think he said he'd probably be interested in it at that. So we'll see if he buys it or not. If he does, I guess I can let it go. I can always find another one later. At the price I priced it to him for, I'm making pretty good money on it, so I can't turn it down. Plus, if I keep the carburetor set up off of it, plus I get all this good stuff out of the trunk, Be a pretty good deal, I think, anyway. Well, guys, it's actually been a few days. I've been loading crushed cars out of the other yard every day this week, and I got all that done now. All the bundles are gone. Next week, I'm going to be out here loading bundles. I got a few things going on tomorrow, but I'll probably make that a separate video. I actually did sell this trunk and this nose. Both of those are sold. Those are going to be headed to Florida. And then I sold both of these as well. This one here, I believe, is headed to Oklahoma, and that one there is actually staying local. Local guy wants to buy it, so that's pretty cool. I still have the Ford, that one over there, and I've got the moped right here. And then my buddy Sean dropped this one off. That was actually one of mine from a long time ago, I guess. I don't even remember it. And he had it at his place, and he was going to do something with it. I forget what he was going to do, but anyway, he just brought it back. That way I can sell it if I can find a home for it. I just got a couple really cool cars in, but I think I'm going to put those on the next video. You guys are going to have to stay tuned for that one. So now you kind of got a little bit of a glimpse into what it's like for me going around trying to save this stuff. I can't save it all, but I try to do my best to save as much as possible from the crusher, but you can't do it all. So if you guys enjoy this one, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And as always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. And remember to get out there, find an adventure. We'll see you on the next one.